So over the last 30 years, the major developments in fertility field is really related to a massive development of the drug space, where we can now say that we are very comfortable in treating patients for the full pathway during the treatment with assisted reproduction. That is one thing. We now have available recombinant products that are very safe and very effective, and that's really a breakthrough and also very convenient for patients. The other big revolution is really into the laboratory space, where we have now technologies that allow us to culture embryos up to day 5, to vitrify them with a very high survival rate after thawing. They can be used afterwards very successfully, and also increasing tools that help us to identify those eggs and embryos that have the highest potential to implant and result in a live birth. And then finally, I would say the increasing importance of patient centricity is also a very important part, which has led to increasing individualization of treatments based on an increasing scale of biomarkers to predict responses. So I joined pharma 3.5 years ago, because I really wanted to make a difference in the pharmaceutical world. And this is based on 20 years of medical scientific experience in academia, where essentially I felt gradually more interested in the public health component through consulting with WHO and other agencies, and also working with pharma closely in all sorts of projects, from preclinical research in animal models to diagnostics to real-world data to health economics to patient centricity projects. All of that made me realize that what pharma really needs more is deep therapeutic area expertise from people who have both the clinical and the medical scientific expertise. And even now, after 3.5 years in pharma, this is still my conclusion, that to really move faster in bringing innovation to patients, there is a critical need for deep expertise that not only comes from within pharma, but comes from the outside world. In other words, academia, people who have a lot of experience in treating patients. And to bring those two worlds together is really what is needed. So we need to realize that academia and industry are unfortunately two completely different environments. In academia, the incentive is really to have a new development, to focus on innovation, and to have a paper with a high impact factor, which then creates new grants, new insights, and so forth. From a pharmaceutical perspective, the idea is to develop a product that can be brought to patients. So somewhere we have the divide between the focus on innovation, not on the product, and then the focus on a product that can be brought to patients. The big divide is really the discrepancy between innovation and validation. Usually, and unfortunately, academia stops at the level of innovation and does not go sufficiently into validation, because first, the mindset may not always be there, and second, the funding may not be there. This is a huge opportunity for pharma to partner with academia early on, and then to develop an innovative idea through validation into a product. A typical example where we have failed, unfortunately, is biomarkers in endometriosis, where we have at this moment not yet a biomarker available that can identify endometriosis in women who have a normal ultrasound. And one of the reasons is, again, a massive amount of papers describing innovation, but hardly any translation of this innovation into validation. And so more structured and prioritized partnerships between academia and industry early on in development, leading to co-development, could be a solution for this. This is a very important question, and an area where industry really could make a difference by engaging both with patient organizations and with healthcare professionals. For patient organizations, it's important that women overall in low-income countries are aware about what endometriosis is and how it can cause infertility and pain, and are educated in these diseases, because in some of these countries, women are not at all aware that endometriosis exists and can be a significant cause of women's health problems. For HCPs, it's a similar thing. I think it's first a medical education duty, to ensure that physicians in low-income countries have state-of-the-art knowledge on symptoms, diagnostics, and treatments of endometriosis, and that also, as needed, they can receive additional training to recognize endometriosis when they do an ultrasound or when they do a laparoscopy, and then follow the right treatment guidelines that are available according to ASHRAE guidelines or ASRM guidelines. Luckily, the products are not expensive, so they can be used, but it's more a matter of knowledge and awareness, and a lot of improvement is possible there. What excites me most about ART is the question how we can have the best possible result, the highest chance of a live birth for any couple starting a treatment within just one cycle, taking into account that the cost of the treatment is significant, and we need to also decrease the discontinuation rates during treatment, as the treatment is very, very intensive. Now, to do that, to shorten the time to live birth and to increase the chances of having a live birth per started cycle, we need to combine what we have in our portfolio in terms of drugs, technologies, everything together, and bring that together in a personalized way to ensure that each patient with her specific profile can benefit the most. And this is an ongoing story as new drugs, new technologies are continuously developed to supplement the portfolio that we have. So that's exciting, and that's something I enjoy thinking about every day.